Hello and welcome. Today I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Cistercian Order and how it came to be. So let's get started. The Cistercian Order was founded in 1098 by various Benedictine monks. Let's focus on the leader. St. Robert of Molesme entered the Benedictine monastery as a child. He tried to reform but mostly failed. He then became the leader of that Benedictine monastery. However, that life actually became one of wealth and unenforced rules. This disavowment motivated him and 20 other monks to leave and establish the Citoix. With St. Robert of Molesme was St. Albert of Citoix and St. Stephen Harding. These three men, led by Stephen Monctux, were the father of the Cistercian Order.
The founders of the Cistercians had few notable contributions to the Catholic Church besides those related to the founding and early development of the Cistercian Order. However, one of the founders, Stephen Harding, did write the Bible of Stephen Harding while abbot of Citoix. When understanding the Cistercians, we must also consider how they split into two distinct groups: the Cistercian Order of Common Observance and the Cistercian Order of Strict Observance, which is also known as the Trappists. Those of the Common Observance are more of the traditional Cistercians, while the Trappists have new and different styles of life. The Cistercian Order's official motto is Cistercium Mater Nostra, or in English, Citoix is our mother. Some notable saints have come from the Cistercians. Most obviously, the founders, St. Roberts, St. Albrecht, and St. Harding, were amongst them. However, another of these famous saints is that of St. Bernard. Bernard joined the Cistercians with some of his peers around 1112 as a novice and found the abbot of Clairvaux. He helped expand the order to an extent not seen before in such a short period and made it what it is today. Without his influence, the Cistercians likely would have never reached the broad reach it gets today. While not a saint, another notable member to come out of the order was Pope Eugene III, the first Cistercian pope. Another was monk, writer, theologian, mystic, poet, social activist, and comparative religious scholar Thomas Merton. Thomas Merton even wrote some prayers that you can see on your screen right now. The most important part of the Cistercian Order is that of spirituality itself. So let's talk about that.
The founders of the Cistercian Order were all a part of the Benedictine Order prior to founding the Cistercian Order. However, the founding monks emphasized strictness and manual labor and profound commitment to God. However, the Benedictine Orders did not focus on that. They strayed away from their purpose. Moreover, this drove St. Robert of Molesme and amongst 20 other men to found the new order. And by doing so, they were able to make formality and strict commitment the cornerstone of their order. Members of the Cistercians take vows of obedience, stability, conversion of life, poverty, and celibate chastity. They are able to build up from there and establish 7 pillars of their spirituality. So let's break that down.
The first one, and the most obvious, is the notion of being separated from the world. By doing so, the Cistercians allow themselves to be freer and listen and connect with God. Another important aspect is the emphasis on simplicity. They attempt to achieve this through their diet, sleep, and clothing. This striving for simplicity is done to complete a simple and direct relationship with God. Another important pillar is that of liturgy. Mass is the center of the day for Cistercians, as it is the most direct link to God for them. The fourth pillar is that of brotherhood. The Cistercians know that they are not alone, and by supporting each other, they help themselves. The next is the zeal for souls. Cistercians believe by them doing good, they allow God to heal more souls and enable them to enter his kingdom. The sixth pillar is devotion to the sacred humanity of Jesus and the Blessed Virgin Mary. The order values a deep and intimate friendship with Jesus. They use Mary as a guide to building a connection with her Son. The seventh and final pillar of Cistercian spirituality is contemplative prayer and the eschatological dimension. Essentially, the Cistercians' primary focus is heaven. They do not have a specific leader, only dedication to heaven and salvation. Furthermore, all their pillars lead to heaven. But let's talk a little more about their life.
The Cistercians have the goal in their life to live in solidarity under the strictest interpretation of the rule of St. Benedict. They reject feudal constructs and focus their attention on manual labor. In doing so, the Cistercians are practitioners of asceticism, which sacrifices certain things in your life to attain a spiritual goal. The Cistercians also practice a formal governmental structure over its members, which focuses on uniformity. All abbots must attend annual meetings in the Citoix. They also must be visited regularly by the founding abbots to ensure the continuance of the following of rules. These practices allow for the Cistercians to maintain their strict procedures across the board. The Cistercians typically wore cheap garments that consisted of 2 tunics, 2 cowls, a scapular for work, shoes, and stockings. An interesting fact to know about the Cistercians is that they refuse to wear shorts because they're a hindrance of modesty. It has not become apparent yet, the Cistercians tried to live their life below their means for the sake of humility. That was reflected in the architecture and in the simplicity of their churches, which rejected eccentric architecture.
In action, Cistercians live in monasteries and live a much more private life. They also devote their day to studying, praying, meditation, and scripture. Even here in Dallas, we feel the reach of the Cistercians. The Cistercian Order, founded in 1955, has been involved with the Diocese of Dallas and has been educating its youth through schooling at Cistercian Preparatory School and at the University of Dallas.
Have a great day. Thanks for watching.